Hi everybody, this is Brian James from Rhino3D.com, and in this video I'll be talking to you about the Woolly Rhino plugin. In short, this plugin lets you add hair to your models. It's a free plugin, and with the PackageManager command you can search for hair, and this plugin will install in Rhino 8 or Rhino 9 on Mac or Windows. At the time of this video I am using the Rhino 9 beta. I'll jump over to the perspective view where I've got a demo model for this, and it's a little handbag with a trimmed surface on the front that I would like to add some hair to. I've installed the Woolly Rhino plugin and restarted Rhino, so I have the Woolly Rhino toolbar floating here. There are 5 commands in the plugin. They all begin with the letters WR for Woolly Rhino, and the first one we'll look at is WR hair. Density and length are unit-aware options you'll see in the command line, and these are based on what unit of measurement you're working in. These default values are probably going to need a little bit of adjustment depending on what your goals are, so just select something in your model and you'll see how those default values relate to that size object. I'm in shaded mode here, and those hair strands look just black, and the reason is that mesh wires are enabled in my shaded display mode. So over in the display panel, I'll disable mesh wires and zoom in so you can see the root color and the tip color that was automatically added. What I want to talk about is what actually got created. So it's a great thing to understand what happened behind the scenes. Each one of these hair strands is a separate mesh object. But if you have separate meshes that don't physically touch, you can use the join command in Rhino to create what's called a disjoint mesh. And that's what your hair meshes really are here. They are disjoint meshes, and they're great for speed and performance, and they'll transfer to memory quickly when rendering, but they're not going to reduce file size. So keep that in mind. If you've got a really dense hair mesh in your model, it could easily add 100 or 200 megabytes to the file size. Now I want more hair than this, so I'm going to delete this hair mesh and run WR hair again. This time I'll change the density to 1.5, and I'll increase my gravity from 1 to 2. This is going to bend the strands down further in the z-axis. After selecting the trimmed surface, I have a lot more hair to work with now, but I've got some hair in areas where I don't want it. So I'll use one of 3 brush-based tools in the plugin. I'll use this one here, WR Shave. I'll select the hair mesh to remove from, press Enter, and then paint the areas that I want to delete, and then Enter to finish. Next, I'll use WR Comb to comb the hair down. Again, just select the hair mesh, Enter. You have more options than the shaving command, but the noteworthy one to talk about is brush effect. So there are 4 different ways that the brush can affect the model, and the first one, view, is naturally using the direction that your cursor moves, but in combination with that, it's using the view of the model. So as I change my view, that is another variable for the combing. The next one down is called base, and that uses the normal direction of the base object, the one that the hair was generated on. And below that is both, and that's going to be a combination of view and base. And the last option is more of a selection tool. This brush effect is called flatten. And what that's going to do is it's going to bend the hair in the direction that it was already leaning. So if you use one of the other brush effects first and then you finish with flatten, you can lay the hair down nicely on your base object. Now there's another brush-based tool in Woolly Rhino called WR Fill, but I've got a little bit of a problem. There's too much hair here, so I'm going to use WR Shave again and just remove some hair from the corner. And now I'll use WR Fill. There's going to be a second selection step in this command. So the first is the same as the other 2. Select the hair mesh, Enter. But now I'm asked for a base object. What's interesting about WR fill is that it used the first selection for averaging the attributes of the new hair that I'll create. So all of these attributes in the command line, such as length or the color, those are inherited from that first selection. So now I can select the base and then brush to define where I want to add that hair. And it gets joined into that disjoint mesh. I'll finish with an additional combing, and I'll switch back to maybe both for this. There's another way that you can use WR fill that I think is worth pointing out here. You select the hair that you want to base the attributes on or what you want to fill into, press enter, but then select a completely different object for the base. This allows you to use the attributes from the first selection, but actually add the hair to a separate object entirely. And the final command that I want to point out is WR color. And this simply just reads the root and tip color and lets you change it. So I think I'll go for hot pink here. And then apply. And there you have it. That's an introduction to the Woolly Rhino plugin for Rhino 8 and Rhino 9. Thanks for watching and have fun making your models hairy.